Dukes of Weirdom!
Dukes of Weirdom.
Episode 52.
The big day.
The 1 year anniversary. Number-wise. 52 weeks number-wise. Cause
I think that's 54 weeks in a year.
we went over this exact same thing last time.
Did we?
We did. And you're like, I'll defer to you because I don't know. It's 52.
I feel like it's 54, but I don't know enough about years
It's
to call it.
definitely 52.
So I just wanted to cite the Always Sunny meme. Why don't we burn the garbage where the smoke can go up and become stars? I feel like that's wrong, but I don't know enough about stars to call him out.
I also feel like that's wrong, but don't know enough to call him out.
So the big day.
Yes. You looked it up last week. It was, or maybe 2 weeks ago, when it was.
Yeah, our first upload.
Our first upload was like February 13th or something like that, I think.
I will not cite the meme again. I don't know where Spotify is on my phone, goddammit.
Sorry, I think February 11th,
Thank you.
2023. Yes.
Yes.
So, as planned, we have our top 10 fights.
Oh, that's a cool waveform. All right.
Of all time.
Yes.
Now,
In anime.
in anime, we did decide, we talked.
I was able to fit one cheat in around that little rule.
It's alright.
One cheat. There's a singular cheat there. Well, there's another cheat, but in a different way. We'll get to that.
We'll get to it. It's fine. So, when we came up with the idea 2 episodes ago, literally mid-episode, we decided anime only. And that we would leave out manga. There's a few that we probably might have been able to put in there, but
No, it actually absolutely would have shook my list entirely.
really,
Yeah.
well,
Because Sendai Colony, Bomb Girl Fight, which, granted, given another year or two, will be in anime form.
mm-hmm. What else?
More Black Clover fights, but again, there's a little cheat in here.
Okay.
Sakamoto, but I need to read more Sakamoto.
We both need to read more Sakamoto. We're right there with each other. So, to preface also, so that people aren't being like, yo, that fight is whack.
It's any reasons. It's anything goes favorites.
Yes, it's a favorites. It doesn't necessarily mean the best looking fights, because that would be an entirely different list on its own.
In
of
fact,
what I feel like would be the best animated fights of all time.
excluding my honorable mentions, because I don't even want to think right now. I think there's only one fight in my actual top 10 that's only there for spectacle.
Oh, I do too. I got one. Well, there's more than that, but there is a spectacle.
There is more than that, but compared to the reasons I put other fights in there, where there's more emotion or thematic reasons, it stands out as more of the spectacle.
Right. So.
It is hard tossing up favorite versus best. I think there's one I put
Cool
really
beat-em-ups.
high up there, where I did it more because not because it's my favorite, but because I think it's so good that it deserved to be high up.
It's just a cool beat 'em up.
No,
Oh, like a cool fisticuffs.
I couldn't not give it its dues.
All right, well.
Oh, I keep triple guessing my list. I actually might need to add something to honorable mentions because I never was able to really decide that.
Let's do it. I will say this list was infinitely harder to put together than our top 10 anime
I finished
and
it
mangas.
today.
Same. It was, oh my god, just like going through it. There are so many good fights. It's anime. It's like, there's like, I could make it just a top. The order would be horrendous to try and organize.
I see I'm like
But,
super
like-
quadruple guessing my list already, still looking at it.
Yeah, I know there's going to be something that, like, tomorrow it's just going to pop into my head. And I'm like, well, that's on the top 5, top 10. Or at least an honorable mention. Well, I guess we'll take it with some honorable mentions. Just jump
Go
right
for it.
into it. So, would you like to kick it off?
Sure.
How do you want to? Do you want to do all of the honorable mentions, or just like one
Yeah,
at a time?
there's only one of the 3 honorable mentions where I actually have like,
Anything to say about it?
or like maybe like a half and half. I'm just gonna rat them off.
Go.
My first one is everything Hay does in Darker Than Black. I watched one compilation, and it's literally each fight's like 5 seconds because he just runs in. There might be like one trade of blows, and then he murders the person. And it was a compilation of all of his. It was every time he killed someone with his power specifically. It was all season 1, the OVAs, and in season 2 when he gets his powers back for a little portion. I was just like, man, this is so cool. But none of them deserved like a spot on their own. Like I watched the November 11th.
I was just about to say,
scuffle.
Not your boy, November 11th.
No, it wasn't even really a fight. He like runs away at one point and then it's over. So it's like,
Yeah.
But still seeing them, I'm like, oh, it's always so good when he murks someone. I also forgot the cat talks, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that too.
There's a little scene where he's like, he doesn't wear that jacket just for fun. It's bulletproof. I'm like, oh shit, a talking cat.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Second honorable mention. This is the one that I forgot how to sneak in because I just didn't give it enough credit. Pretty much every Samurai Champloo fight.
Oh.
I know. I sat here, I was like, I don't even know how I could fit that into the list right now, last second.
Yeah, because spoiler, I don't have Samurai Champloo on any of mine, but you mentioned the Jin versus the two.
Shade guy?
No, the two when they fought each other in the bar.
Oh, yeah, Jin and Mugen.
Mugen. I didn't remember the other guy's name. That's a dope fight, but then when I was looking up stuff, Jin and Mugen versus the Shade dude, when they double teamed him at the end, I'm like, this is just way better.
Mugen versus the Chain Sickle guy, I still think is just so good.
It is.
It's a quick exchange, but it's so good.
You know, I also found in my travels of like that same time frame, fucking Afro Samurai.
Oh, so good.
It's so good.
I have finally seen it. Me and my partner watched it together.
It's so good. So brutal. So just...
You gotta, god damn it, I gotta find a way to give you like a Max gift card or something for an occasion so you can watch Ninja Kamui.
Oh, on HBO.
It's so Afro Samurai. It's so crazy Afro Samurai vibes. Then I have one more honorable mention. It's the one I actually cared to talk about. Because it was the first fight I thought of when we had this whole idea, and it got knocked off my list. And it's literally 2 side characters in Bungo Stray Dogs. I didn't even know their names.
Oh, this
is the one, yeah. It's Odasaku versus Gide. They're both dual pistol users that can see 6 seconds into the future.
That's pretty dope.
It is the coolest gunfight.
The coolest, huh?
There's only one gunfight I think is cooler, and it's the Madoka Magica one, but I didn't actually watch Madoka Magica, so that's
What's his name again?
Odasaku. And they're such side characters that once you type this, yeah, their fight comes right up.
This one?
Yeah.
So, let me just make sure I pull off this.
Yes.
Down.
Crank that shit way down.
Is this the fight here?
Yes.
Let's skip through here.
Just them train blows. Again, they see the future, and eventually comes down at the very end to both of them deciding to just turn off their powers and kill each other.
They legit kill each other?
They kill each other. They both go down.
Why would they decide? I would
Let's
pretend.
just do it.
This is crazy.
It's the only fight I would even remember from Bungo Stray Dogs, besides like one of the final fights. But I just love this fight so much. It did cut around it a little bit because there's even one part where you see like the bubble of their like prediction powers expanding.
That's dope.
I do think one of them survives, but I just don't even remember. It was so long ago. But it's still
I mean,
It was such a good fight that it still has a part, like, real estate in my brain.
right, well, Bungo Stray Doors is actually pretty popular. I see people talking about it.
Season 5 popped off. It was winning some sort of popular anime poll that I saw because people were getting really butthurt that it beat out, like, big things.
It's okay. They'll be alright. So, I'm just going to start off with a meme that's just a throwaway, but I find it funny because when we were preparing for this, you put a list together and you just like sent it to me. It's like, oh, for
Every
reference.
anime I could think of with fighting in it.
Yeah, just on the spot. So I was scrolling through it today, just let's see if I missed anything. And I looked all through on the last page. I saw Yu-Gi-Oh on
You
it.
sure did.
I was like, what? So,
Did you notice I had Guilty Crown in there with the question
yeah,
mark?
I did.
Because I didn't remember anything about Guilty Crown.
I mean, there's action in it, but I wouldn't say anything that's like.
I don't
think anyone would have it in anywhere near a top 10.
Well, there's a lot of things in there that I didn't think would make anyone's top 10.
Yeah, but I put a fight that we don't even see.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I put Kaiba versus Yami, the last one, solely for the fact that we're putting these fights here because it's our favorite. This dude transcended death to get one more duel in with Yami. The lengths this guy went in throughout the whole movie just to duel this guy, and he walks into the afterlife just to fucking duel Yami. I was like, I'll put it in there for the memes.
I just had a random memory of an anime. Just because you're going to your honorable mentions, something popped into my brain that I didn't put on that list, and it was Bento.
It's on mine!
Yes!
It's the next one. Literally number
Yes!
13. Bento. First off, Dark Side of Dimensions, badass Yu-Gi-Oh movie. Go watch it. Bento.
I felt it. I felt your wavelength.
Everything Bento, man. That is such a deep cut. That anime is nothing but poor people trying to get discounted food, and literally the plot is at this grocery store at a certain time, this dude comes out, puts sale stickers on all the leftover food, and as soon as he walks in the back room and the door closes, it's just a wave of people that just beat the fuck out of each other over these foods. That's literally the entire plot, 12 episodes deep. And so I put the Ice Witch versus the Beauty of the Lake. So, like, the two, like, big female characters. And see, I watched it today. And it's just like, honestly, any fight that's in here is just so, its action is way better than what it should be for the production level that this anime probably got back when it was made. It's just brawl after brawl, and just the whole anime is just amazing. It's glorious. I love it. It's hilarious. If you don't know, now you know. Go watch Bento. It's great. So good.
I can feel the era of anime came out in through the eyes.
Yes, the drawing style. See, look at this, man. The combos, the wombo combos, and the people in the background all fighting each other, and it's just. And then in this fight too, because during this fight other things happen. He has a dope fight against some random guy too. Then she pulls out the chopsticks and just like
The Tenjo Tenge block.
it's just so good. Just the whole thing. I love Bento. I need to rewatch it. It's so funny, so good, so action packed. All right, so my next honorable mention: Thorfinn versus Thorkel.
I forgot
Fight-
to rewatch Vinland Saga
Fight
fights.
number 2 specifically. So some would say the first fight they have on the London Bridge is the more action-packed one. But the reason I like the second fight more is because it's in the area of Vinland Saga Season 1 where you start to see the smallest sprinkles of Thorfinn's character starting to develop.
Yeah.
Because it's the first time he gives in and allows or just accepts Askeladd's help. So the two of them kind of like they do team up, but like Askeladd just kind of blinds him with the sword.
Yeah.
But it's Askeladd's plan with Thorfinn's abilities that take down Thorkill, and I just love the how do I say it? The implications of that. You know what I mean? More than just because the first fight's just the setup of what's to come later. You know what I mean? It's them introducing. Yeah, it's flashier. It's cooler because Thorfinn running on the sails, jumps over on the bridge, cuts through these people, cuts off Thorkill's fingers. Thorkill catches the blade in his body, and then he
goes 8-man on him.
Yeah, Thorfinn getting like right up to his eye with the knife, like super quick.
What came to my mind for best Vinland Saga fight actually was Thorfinn fighting Askeladd for the last time.
That's dope too. It is. That's a good one too. What started me, I was like, ooh, I really like Thorfinn versus Snake.
And of course, Thor versus Askeladd.
Oh yeah, so good. So many good fights. It's the thing on me. It's just hard, even within one season, because I did only choose one.
Same
from each. I didn't go up.
An honorable mention that got knocked off of mine was Bradley running the gauntlet because other Full Metal Alchemist fight made it.
That's funny because my next honorable mention
is Bradley running the gauntlet?
No, Alphonse versus Kimberly and Pride.
Ooh, classy choice,
yes, sir.
When he makes the rock dragon, I'll always remember that.
It's so good.
So I'm glad we can give Bradley his due right now.
Yes.
Also, because Bradley fighting his own military was fantastic.
It's also
and everybody.
It's surprisingly, this is a 1.5-minute fight. I don't think this is. I think my one that's in my top 10 is shorter than this.
Same.
But it's just so good because it's like Al just like
it's his one time to show off.
I mean, he's got Philosopher's Stone, but that just helps him like make alchemy better. He's still thinking. He still has to react to all this stuff.
He's still coming up with the ideas.
The strategies, yes. The fake out with the flash grenade right here at the end. The dragon stuff against Kimberly. It's just, it's so good. It's so good. So good. Look at it. And then traps him in. I don't remember, because right here it ends with Pride being locked up again. And then it just ends. I don't know what happens with Kimberly, like where he went on the side, because in the fight it doesn't really show that he got taken out. He just kind of.
I don't know what happens to Kimberly either.
Right here, this is the last thing we see. The dragon crashes down and he goes flying away, and then Al goes after Pride.
Was this before they actually captured Pride or after? Because it looks like after, because the giant dome is there.
The giant dome is right there. That's such a cold scene too. I love that when fucking Hohenheim comes in and he gets so mad that he insulted Alphonse. He's just like, "Don't you dare!" And then just, whoa, giant fucking dome.
Hohenheim's literal only time to show off.
I know, because like during the original series, I wanted Hohenheim to pop off so much, and then we get such small tidbits in Brotherhood. That, and then a little bit against Father. I remember him like making the stairs as he's walking down them, like in the air. I remember that. That was cool. But you said Bradley didn't make your honorable mentions. One that just skeeted by mine would be Kakashi versus Obito.
Nice.
Which
means another Naruto fight made it into your list.
Yes, because also I like the I really like the cinematography, I guess you could call it.
The directorial choices.
Yes, between switching from when they're kids and adults, that fight. Yeah. That's amazing.
That's the part that would literally puts it second on my Naruto fights.
Yeah. So there is one, obviously, on the top 10s. Which
it's time for.
It's time for the top 10s. And take it away.
I'm not even sure if you're going to want to bring this one up on video. I'm not sure if it'll need it. Sora versus Jabril. The No Game No Life word game.
Oh my god, yes!
Probably one of my favorite scenes of anime.
Definitely one that you would not assume is a fight because it's more of an intellectual battle.
That was an early one I thought of too, and I was like, ho 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 ho, I'm twisting my mustache.
That's yes. That's a good one.
It's A tier, right? S tier.
Stratosphere, lithosphere, and all that stuff. Getting rid of it. Getting rid of oxygen.
I love that moment too. Them
back.
running up and jumping to be above her before they do it too.
Yep. So she falls into the core first. Yep.
Which is prime thinking shit, and I love that shit.
Ah, so good.
That's really all I gotta say about that. That's why I'm like, you don't even bring it up. You're just gonna watch.
I like the beginning part of when they're all just fooling around and they're getting rid of all
even
this crazy
just
shit.
atom
And then
bomb though.
I was gonna say, and then he gets serious and brings in the atom bomb, which she doesn't even know what it is until it blows up, and then her timing to use her abilities to
react to it. And that gave
block it.
him more information too.
Because he was ready. He was like, "This is gonna take us both out. You don't even know what an atom bomb is." Just like you don't know the science of what a stratosphere or a lithosphere is that I've already been getting rid of.
So the game is decided in the first move, man.
For real. Damn, that's a good choice.
Thank you.
I was contemplating, I didn't even, because I was like, it's just such a cheap knockout. I'm not even going to put it. I was like, thinking about maybe L versus Light, but I'm like, that's a whole fucking series.
Yeah, if I could think of one really good scene to boil it down, maybe I would have. But even like saying like the Lindell Taylor thing isn't like big enough.
No. There's nothing really in there.
I did think of Light versus Nier though, because at the very end that kind of feels like a versus battle.
Yeah,
my favorite anime fight is Light and Mikami versus Nier and the entire police department.
Bad take. The tennis match is better.
The true best match.
Yes.
L versus Light's feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that L can even move like that is bullshit, because the amount of sweets that dude eats and his posture is just hard.
Atrocious.
He is not athletic. You are not selling that to me. Get out of
He
here.
plays a mean tennis match.
Yeah, apparently. But I don't buy it. I don't buy it, writers. My number 10. Saitama versus Boros.
Hey.
Because Saitama versus Garo is not animated yet. Because that will 100% top it.
Not my favorite One Punch Man fight.
What's yours?
Saitama versus Genos.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know.
But I understand. Trust me.
I mean, season 1, One Punch Man is just, like, next level of everything. So, like...
And I just like the setup for it, too.
Yeah, it's my flashy fight. It's like super over the top flashy fight type deal. You know what I mean? It's just like there's not really much going on lore wise. It's not very there's not many stakes. There's not many stakes in One Punch Man, period, anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's not what
There's
we're here for.
stakes.
There's fake stakes, yes. Because you know when Saitama gets there, he's going to win. So, in One Punch.
Excelente.
Yes, so, not much to say other than it's just a beautiful piece of fight. I love the scene, like just the shot when Saitama's on the moon, when he gets kicked to the moon, and it shows like he's on like the side panel of it, and just like the kind of like the fisheye, half fisheye lens that they use to like, it's just
make you feel a little more outerverse.
Yeah, it's just fire. You know, it's fire. You just can't not appreciate
Murata greatness.
Yeah.
And one greatness.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Speaking of one greatness,
my
number 9, Shimazaki versus Takeru and all of the other Espers in Mob Psycho.
Oh, yes.
Because I think that is some of the best, like, directorial fighting.
What's
once
his name
again.
again?
Shimazaki. Yeah, versus everyone.
Pretty sure I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Another one of my favorite fight shots is in this fight. It should be coming up still. When he slams Tucker's face into like 3 different objects while teleporting.
That dude?
Yes.
Oh, not that dude. That dude slamming someone into his
Yes. The blonde kid.
Oh, yeah, the other, like, that
Him.
guy. Yes.
Yes. It's literally him, Mob's brother, and all of the Scar members versus this one dude.
Yeah. Doesn't Mob just wipe the floor with this guy, though?
Literally by showing up. Bam, that shot.
You know, actually, so...
Such a good fucking shot.
I mean...
The way the background changes and he stays static on it.
I don't know how I would look it up, but...
it's so good.
The way you just mentioned it, because how they stay there, but the background's what changes.
Yeah.
They did that for a One Piece fight. Law and Kid versus Big Mom at the end of it.
With Law, yeah, yep.
And that they do that. It's Law stays still, and it's everything else that keeps moving.
I love it so much.
It's so good.
I also love slamming someone to a building and then running on that floor of the building. Also a big favorite of mine in fights.
Because they were beating his ass for most of this, right? And then he just decides to get serious and then just...
Yeah, because the ass beating's about to start, too, because he starts predicting where Shimazaki's going to show up. Being like, I'm starting to get, like, your logic when you come into attack.
Oh, so he's fooling around now, but then... Boop. Okay, yeah, I see.
And then they start beating his ass, and then he gets serious and no diffs them all in one moment.
Oh, this guy's still around? That guy?
Yeah! Like I said, all of the Scars start, like...
Because that guy... Again, I've only watched season 1, so I'm...
Oh, yeah, you need to watch this season. There's another great fight in this season, later than this.
Because I've seen when Mob fights that guy in season 1, and that's a dope shot. Like
that is a dope fight.
Because he was beating up his little brother, right?
Yep. And he was looking for Mob.
Right.
And this is when Shimazaki suddenly, like, just cut everything else out of my mind. Oh, yeah, he already no-diffed them. That's how short the no-diff is. In between where you jumped, Shimazaki... Yep, right here.
Yeah, he just teleports around, punches all of them once, and knocks them all the fuck out.
And then Mob shows up, and he gets so scared he teleports away.
Well, I mean, it's Mob, so...
It is Mob. I love that, though. He doesn't even try to fight, though. He's just like, what?
Well, because Mob Psycho is from the same dude from One Punch Man, so maybe they were waiting for Mob Psycho to finish before doing Mob's... Trying to pump in...
More One Punch?
I don't know. I think the studios are different. They animated it, though, aren't they?
Yeah, this is Bones, the My Hero people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, see? There's Mob. Just walking menacingly.
Pissed.
Angry as fuck. Glorious, I mean.
I love that fight so much.
Psychic battles, yeah. You know, it's funny. I have the Everybody fight on here, too.
Ooh.
Oh, shit!
Is it next?
It is my number 9, too. But mine is Everybody. Yours is this. So.
Different jumping.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. My number 9 is... It was something else from the same series, but I changed it. Because I was sitting here and I was looking at my list. And I was like, well... You know, fights aren't necessarily one-on-ones, because majority of my fights are one-on-one. I'll tell you that right now. But I was like, well, okay, whatever.
Yeah, not gonna.
It's probably more of an even split. But so from Fate, I had Kiritsugu versus Kotomine. What?
I didn't put any Fate fights on my list.
Like
I said, I didn't. It's too much of a rush job.
Mulligan? You got any mulligans? Would you put it anywhere? Is there anything you can think of from there that you'd
No.
immediately be like, oh, that fight's got to be there?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I know what Fate fight I would pick for sure.
Well, then just slide it in right now. Don't even put it on your list. Just what would you put
Oh,
on there
it's
somewhere?
definitely Saber versus Lancer bleeding into Rider, Gilgamesh, and Berserker showing up.
Oh, it's so good.
Fate Zero, one of the, I want to say episode 2.
It's early. It's like I
I'm
think it's
pretty
actually
sure
episode
it's
3.
Is it 3?
It
It might
might
break
be.
out at the end of 2.
You
Start
forget
with 3.
how long.
Well, 1 is an hour-long
Oh, yeah, it's true.
exposition.
I was
drop.
gonna say you forget how long the priest and Toast and
That's
Ren's
like-
dad walked around.
That's like a
Kira.
15 minutes of the goddamn first episode. But that first episode is double length to fit in all the exposition. That's why
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
at least by the end of episode 2 it might start.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, a lot of episode 2 is probably Kiritsugu being like, I hate being around her. Why do I have to be around her? You're a tool. Act like a tool.
No, that scene is dope, and like Alexander's entrance is just so fucking hype too. Yeah, no. Another one I was contemplating was
I know. Emiya versus Gilgamesh.
no, go fuck yourself. Fuck, I completely forgot it too. I was just thinking of it. Oh yes, we're from Fate Stay Night, the master that beat the fuck out of
Oh
Saber.
yeah, I fucking love that, man.
It's Castor's master from Fate Stay Night.
Just literally laying the hands on Saber.
Yes. So, but to get to the actual
Yes.
one, mine is from Fate Babylonia.
Ooh.
Same thing. I'm not gonna separate. It's Fate. It's
Yeah.
It's not different. So it's everyone versus Tiamat.
Nice.
Now this fight spans a couple episodes, and it's just a noble phantasm gasm of a fight because it's the climax of Babylonia. It's literally what the whole like thing he's leading up to, and they're trying to stop Tiamat and all of their plans that you see. Ishtar's Noble Phantasm, Esquigol's Noble Phantasm, Merlin's fucking Mashes. You see 2 from Quetzalcoatl. You see 2 from Gilgamesh. You also see 1 from Enkidu. You see Hassan. The first Hassan is in the fight. You got fucking it's just all of the Nemu things that spawn in the underworld when they're down there, and it's just like Uruk being burned. It's just an epic battle royale at the end, and it's just so good. It's so good. It just like certain like Fate has so many good fights, right? Like the Fate Unlimited Blade Works has Saber versus Berserker, Hercules. You got Hercules versus fucking Gilgamesh. You got
I like the Saber versus Hercules too, because you also get the archer pop off towards the end.
Yeah, when he shoots the arrow that he never uses again, it's like
Yeah.
you just shot a tactical nuke from like 3 miles away. Why don't you use that more often?
Here's my swords
Why didn't
again.
Why didn't you point that at Shiro? You tried to kill him so many times. Why didn't you use that to kill him?
That was your whole purpose for living.
Yeah. Archer versus Lancer is in there. Fucking dope. I didn't count it either because I haven't seen Heaven's Feel 3, the third movie,
Yeah.
and I've seen scenes from that. There's a fuckload of dope fights in that movie, but I haven't seen it, so I was like, I'm not gonna count it. And besides, I like the climax of Babylonia more right now, and plus I would count Apocrypha in it too. It's not
It
ufotable,
just
but
doesn't make
it
the
doesn't
list.
really hold up. I mean, the Karna versus
Yeah.
Siegfried is dope as fuck. Chiron versus Achilles is
I'm
also
pretty sure I saw a Twitter post
fire.
too saying like that was that person's like breakout work too, is Klarna versus Siegfried. Like that was their first time getting like a good shot at it, and it pretty much established their whole career.
It's a fucking dope fight. Both of them, both times they fight. I don't know which one he did. Or if he did both.
Maybe both. Oh man, that Atalante fight is good though. You're right. I just remembered
Apocrypha
that
has some dope scene fights in it, dude.
when shit started hitting the fan, it got like real good.
Yeah. Fucking anytime Mordred's on the fucking screen, she just wipes the floor with whoever she's fighting. It's just this Fate is just always another show. It's just stacked with so many fights. But I
And
have
then
to give
Fate Extra exists.
yeah, we don't talk about Fate Extra.
I do.
So that's my number 9. Everyone versus Tiamat from Fate Babylonia, taking the cake over Kiritsugu versus Kotomine.
Which is also a great fight.
It is. Which also,
But it's like, it's the obvious choice.
Yeah.
A cultured man picks a deeper cut than that.
well, because it also takes place at the same time as Saber's does she? Well, she kind of interacts.
They have an interaction.
Gilgamesh, but she was getting emotionally defeated by Lancelot.
I also am really partial to Kiritsugu versus El Malloy the Third.
Yeah.
The man he brought us a fucking skyscraper down to try to not fight, but then they do fight.
Yeah. The Mercury dude, yeah, that's awesome.
That was some of the coolest magic I've seen in Fate. With like it had sensors going along like the railings.
And then also how he wins at the end too, and like goes the underhanded way to take him out when he's in the wheelchair. Yeah.
Their whole plot line is really good.
But that's my number 9. I just love Fate. I cannot fucking wait for Strange Fake, and I know something in there is probably gonna top something just visually, just based off what the first episode gave us with Enkidu versus Gilgamesh, which is also just mwah. But there's so many servants. There's 14, so it's a Apocrypha style
team battle.
Well, not really team battle because there's true servants and fake servants or whatever. I don't really know the story. I don't give a fuck. I'm here for the fights. Let's go. They're trying to they did it, so there's no ruler involved and everything. So, but I'm sure something's gonna happen. So, I'm here for it. It's gonna be great. Can't wait.
Keep the plot of Fate as far away from me.
Moving on.
Number 8. Stein versus Medusa.
Nice.
Yes. There's a lot. This list was largely populated by Soul Eater fights because it took me a long time to whittle down what my favorite Soul Eater fight was. There's a lot of really good Soul Eater fights. Yeah, it's going to be hard to find because it takes place over multiple episodes too.
Yeah.
But even looking back, I think it's the one that ages the best because there's so much strategy involved in it. It's so much like showing off my power and here's my counter to it and here's my counter to your counter when she puts up the arrows on the ground. And Medusa's power set is just the fucking coolest.
All the arrows, yeah, like he's just getting fucked right there with all of them. Right?
And the arrows she would put on the ground that like if you step on them it'd send you in that direction, and then he uses sutures to suture himself to the ground. She uses another attack while he's sutured down. It's just so good.
He kills
Sutured her to the wall.
He kills her right there, right?
Yes, but she comes back later.
Oh. She revives herself then? So he doesn't kill her.
But he does win.
Yeah. I'd call that a W.
It's a good ass fight. The other one that was up there I like a lot is the entire crew of Maka, Blackstar, and Kid fighting Mosquito.
See, my pick would probably be Blackstar versus Mifune.
I love that fight too.
It's just that's my I don't know. It's just I haven't watched it.
Good as fuck. It used to be my favorite.
I haven't seen it in a long time, so I don't really remember it.
Because speaking of cool power sets, Mifune. I don't know if this is the first, second, or third time they fight though. I like the first time they fight the most when Mifune just like no diffs Blackstar.
Yeah, I don't think this is the one because I don't. Well, the swords are here, but
the swords are always there.
Yeah. I feel like it was
because
right now
this is the one where Blackstar wins. I think this is the rematch.
Because they're fighting in a castle right here.
I remember Dirt.
Yeah, I was gonna just say that. I was like, I remember Dirt.
Yeah, this is where Blackstar gets his revenge. So maybe the first clip, the one that doesn't have a good thumbnail. Yeah. This is the one. Yeah, because this is my favorite of the Mifune Blackstar fights too. Mifune just shows how fucking dope he is.
He just fucking... like, come
Thanks for giving me my sword, dude.
He just styles on him. And I like Black Star and Tsubaki.
I like
A
them
lot.
together.
I like
That
them
is
a
one of
lot.
my favorite parts too. He binds down the chains and then runs on the hilts of the swords. And there's Mosquito, the person that
That's
I
one
really
of my
like that
favorite
fight.
parts.
So,
It's just, yeah.
yeah, the main crew fights Mosquito later together. It's when Soul uses
Yeah.
the piano to Soul Resonance.
Black Star pulls out the Black Lightning too, and just still,
Mifune's like, nah,
I just don't care.
let me start slamming my swords. And, oh,
Just block everything you got, and
with one sword.
you're going as hard as you can, and I'm just like,
And then he
not
lays out
even
his
sweating.
special move.
Cut the leaf. Yeah, see,
Sort
he
of
even
one
disrespects
sword.
him and goes reverse
Two
sword style.
swords.
He's
Three
not even cutting him.
swords.
He's in the back of his
4,
blade.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then he hits all of them.
Now, he would be dead if he used the blade side of
Yeah,
the sword.
right?
100%.
Boom.
He'd be cut into 12 different pieces.
So fire. The way
So
the
fire.
blades burst down into a circle around him. Oh.
But I can totally see why you would put Stein versus Medusa. It's more of a technical fight, and this is just a one-sided mulligan.
Yeah, I also would have put the Mosquito one too, because it shows them in really good sync. It just didn't age that well on the action side. It's a very slow looking fight. But that's my number 8.
Maybe someday, unlikely, but maybe Soul Eater will get the Brotherhood treatment.
I hope so.
There's a lot of anime that need the Brotherhood treatment. Not even necessarily like the same level of quality, just like the same level of adaptation.
Love. Yeah.
But yeah. My number 8. Going old school here.
Oh.
Goku versus Majin Vegeta.
Oh, nice.
Just the
think-
best.
My anti-Dragon Ball bias shows that no Dragon Ball fights made my list.
Well, this is the only fight that could make anyone's list, to be honest, other than maybe some super stuff.
Yeah.
Because, like,
When
this
he rides
is
the
the only,
Kamea wave with an energy blast is
Yeah,
pretty
versus
lit. I
Calpha.
won't lie.
because this whole fight, it's just like, oh, it's just so good, and it's just,
A rematch the fans are waiting for, too.
yes, for a long time, and they do all the talking right at the beginning, right here, and then it's just just silence beat down for the rest of the fight. They don't talk the rest of the time. It's just fight.
Hands.
These hands. Screaming, punching,
Flexing.
and they just go right at it. Let me see here. Right when they get into it, fucking... And it's good stuff, too, actually. I clicked right in a good moment.
Yeah, you did.
Um,
It wasn't them doing the classic DBZ flurry hands.
they don't really do much of that. Like, it's all technical. Like, it's not only the quotations here. It's the most technical, which is not a very high bar
Yes.
to beat in
I'm waiting for it, though.
DBZ.
There's always flurry hands. I can't believe that there won't be flurry hands.
Well, I mean, it is still a long fight. It's a
Yeah.
32-minute fight.
Though, to be fair, again, they haven't resorted to it yet. That's
Yeah.
already a compliment for DBZ.
And, like, this
Look,
is...
those are real punches. Those aren't flurry hands.
Yes. And, like, there's a part where he pushes Goku. It's just, like, they're so evenly matched the whole time. He
That's pretty
pushes...
fucking brutal, man.
He stabs him in there.
3 knees to the chin in a row.
Yeah. Vegeta gets him pretty good, too, when he...
Oh, the we punch each other. Oh.
Because he gets Goku on a rock in, like... Where is it? Oh, right here. He, like...
Oh, wow. Tiger rings.
Yeah, tide rings him down and then just starts beating the shit out of him. Like, brutally
Oh,
and
wait.
quickly, too.
What did Gotenks call it? Galactic Donuts?
Yes. the disrespect.
Yes!
He sets the bitch slap, double bitch slap him first. This is the only fight talking that they have. Knee to the stomach. Punch to the jaw. More punches at the face. He just starts going ham, dude. Using him as a punching bag. Goku's just trapped there, and he's just like...
That was a good time for flurry punches, I will say.
And then Goku busts out. Then they have a beam struggle. Nukes go off. There's one thing I wanted to show you somewhere in here.
Was it going to be the end? When he blows himself up?
No. There's a cool sequence. I think it's right here. Where Goku, like, dodges something very cool. Like, the way he does it. And, like, counters Vegeta. But I don't think it's a 32-minute fight. There's no way I'm going to find it in here. This is basically the end right here. This is when they talk sense in Majin Buu.
Vegeta's like, peace.
It's like, okay, we'll go fight them together. Powers down, turns around, and sneak attack. But yeah, it's Dragon Ball Z at its finest.
There we go. Jesus, sorry. Start using the face
recognition
unlock. That's why I was staring so hard.
Because I was like, do I like the OG Goku versus Frieza is like a way longer fight. I think Goku versus Frieza is like the longest fight in Dragon Ball. It's fucking eons long. It's ridiculous. But I was like, I think the length kind of kills it. It's old, so the fight itself isn't like, yeah, in terms of like plot, it's a classic. It's Goku versus Frieza. It's an iconic fight. The best anime transformation of all time happens in that fight. The most iconic transformation of all time. All right, yeah, whatever.
Big smile.
It's Goku versus Frieza is just Dragon Ball it's like defines Dragon Ball. But for me, this is Vegeta's defining character. Like this whole thing about allowing Babidi to corrupt his mind, to give him the power to try and catch up to Goku, not knowing through this whole fight that Goku's not fighting at his full point, because Goku has access to Super Saiyan 3 right now, but doesn't use it. He only uses it after Vegeta's dead and then goes to fight Majin Buu by himself. If he used it, Vegeta would have lost this fight.
You couldn't bear to fight him without eyebrows.
Yeah, I know.
I'll meet you eyebrow to eyebrow.
Best Super Saiyan 3 isn't even canon, though. It's when he fights Janemba, when I said that to you. That's a dope fight, too. I mean, visually speaking, Super has better fights. I mean, the Jiren stuff with Ultra Instinct and then fucking all of them teaming up to beat Jiren's all dope, but Majin Vegeta versus Goku has a special place.
Didn't have the heart there.
Yeah, it's got a special place in my heart. It's my favorite DBZ fight. Another classic, too, people forget about is in Dragon Ball, Goku versus Piccolo. Like, King Piccolo in Dragon Ball is...
I don't think I've watched it front to back.
I've done that once. Eons ago. Long ago. The distant land. And so is the Goku versus Tien fight. Tournament fight. That's also a dope fight. But it just doesn't hold up to Goku versus Majin Vegeta. So, that's my number 8. Number 7.
Number 7. Is this my number 7? 1, 2, 9, 8, 7. Yes, this is number 7. Shinra versus Sho from Fire Force. With Shinra versus his brother.
At the end, season 2? No, season 1, right?
I think it is the end of season 1. I don't know if it was season 1 or 2 now that I think about it, though, actually.
I'm pretty sure it is. Well, I didn't finish season 2, so it's definitely this fight, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This fight is lit. I just love this fight. And there's every great narrative reason behind it, too.
This is when Shinra transcends the speed of light to get past his time stop and shit.
Yes.
He breaks down his own matter because, fire powers.
Because fire powers can do that. This is one of the few fights I did actually rewatch for the list, too. I was like, does this hold up? I'm like, yep. It sure does.
I actually rewatched most of them.
There was one fight I literally couldn't rewatch. I probably should have put it in the honorable mentions because I literally couldn't. But it was the end of Trigun Stampede, Vash versus Knives. Not on YouTube, Netflix original. Made me very sad.
I don't think I've seen part of it though, because you know where I got most of my stuff. I was looking at up like top tens, favorite best anime fights ever, and I saw
Vash versus Knives.
I think so. There was a lot of knives, but I don't know who he was fighting. As you know, my heathenness ways.
Yes, you haven't seen Trigun. If you do,
any Trigun,
watch Stampede. I swear to God, it's just so much better.
It was lit when I watched. It was a top 10, so it was only like a 45 seconds.
Both Knives and Wolfwood got like huge buffs if you go from like classic to Stampede.
I thought you said that what they did with Wolfwood you didn't like, though.
I wasn't liking him, like his character all the way, but I mean, he used a laser beam to saw a giant sand leviathan in half from the inside of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really fucking lit. But yes, Shinra versus Sho.
Yes.
Time stopping versus speed of light movement. And there's just this wonderful part where Victor's standing in the middle of the room and he can only see the flashes happening around him.
Which is funny because science lesson. They do say that the speed of light technically the speed of light should beat time stopping, because the closer you encroach upon the speed of light, the slower time moves for you. So like,
which is also kind of how it depicts it too. Like Shinra starts being able to just move and stop time at first.
Yeah, so like, scientists know how to travel to the future. They've done it on like a particle level, but it's like, I don't know how to explain it. They say it's possible to move forward in time. Well, actually, yeah, you move speed of light. The further you are, the faster you move relative to the speed of light, the slower time moves for you compared to someone back home. So if I went from the speed of light from here, like, I don't know, 3 years away from Earth and then 3 years back, for me,
you would have aged 6 years while Earth actually went through however much more time.
It's catastrophically larger amounts the further you go towards the speed of light. But so I don't know how that would work if for like if you stop time but moving, like, I don't know, I'm not gonna.
No, it's not worth thinking about. It's not.
But it wins out. The faster you go,
it wins out here too.
Yes. Science.
Because this is before he even hits that speed of light part, I believe.
Yeah,
because actually, really
honestly,
close to
just
yep, there it is. Yep.
The scene when he does it too, his atom, he just literally starts breaking down at the molecular level.
It just whoop. Where'd he go?
This is the motionless world. How can he not be here? Is he still moving right now, or is it that he moved too fast to a different location? Yeah, he can't control it yet. So.
He kind of pulled an Asa going into the wall. Chainsaw Man.
Yes. There's another anime that did that too. That he broke it. Whoever it was, like, broke their legs the first time they tried doing it. Like, broke a leg and like crashed into a wall. I feel like it's just a trope though. The first time you use like super fast abilities, obviously you can't control it, so you're gonna overshoot your target.
I think the next time he stops too is where it happens. There's one point where he stops time and he can see Shinra there, but his particles are already like He can't hit him at
Yeah.
all.
So, excellent choice.
Thank you. Yeah, I had to rewatch it. I'm like, yeah, this still absolutely holds up.
I'll still never forgive season 2 opening for what they did to me. Thinking that Commander Burns, Joker, and Benimaru would have a 3-way fight. And it didn't happen. It was a 3-way
That's how you
conversation.
meant Fire Force openings, because they have the best openings in the biz.
It was
Damn.
Fire Force opening because it's in the opening that
yeah.
gives you that insinuation that the 3 are going to fight each other. But they just talk to each other.
And they fight some, like, no names.
Yeah, it's when Joker does the
Yeah,
Joker.
Yeah, Joker and Benimaru fight, like, the no-name dudes.
But it's the dude that...
And, and Burns is there, but...
he comes in after Joker kills him.
Burns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They talk about conspiracies.
Yeah.
Fucking horseshit is what it is. That was number 7, right?
Yes.
Alright, so my number 7... Drum roll. Tengen and Company versus Upper Moon 6.
Nice.
Probably on visuals alone, probably like number 1. Just like that fight, especially in the end once Tengen shows back up after his arm got cut off. And
Yeah.
Tanjiro, everything's on fire and all that. Like, so good, dude. Just like
The perseverance in both Tengen and Tanjiro in that fight is
and then
nutty.
you got Inosuke and Zenitsu versus
Don't bring his name in it. He brings it down for me.
Zenitsu. Yeah,
Because that's when Zenitsu gives orders while supposedly sleeping.
yes, I know.
I hate that so
I
much.
fucking loathe everything about Zenitsu.
So Inosuke is there, Tanjiro and Tengen,
Yes,
and the Upper Moon 6.
it's just like that whole season, man. That's like
It's good.
it's so good, so good.
So good.
And it's just like that's animation. What else to say? Animation. And that
I know,
night,
I was so recent to that. It's like, what else to say?
the fact that those 2 episodes dropped at the same time for 2 totally different reasons. The big hype moment of that fight, like the climax of
Yeah,
that, the screaming. Yeah, that aired the same night that Eren uses the Fountain Titan to start the rumbling, and he dresses, "I am Eren Yeager." This does happen at the same time, and it's just like to see both of those episodes in the same day of being like the combination of Attack on Titan to its the rumbling starting, and also the epic battle of fucking Demon. I was just like, this is a night to remember for anime. Did you forget another fight?
I sure did.
Yeah, you did.
I sure did.
I didn't.
I sure did.
But Demon Slayer Season 2 slaps. That whole season. Number 6. Lay it on me.
Gon versus Hisoka.
Yeah. Ooh.
I still think it's the best fight in Hunter x Hunter as a whole, to be honest.
Is the original... Are they that much different? Or is it even in the original?
Oh, it's in the original. I don't remember how it looks, though.
No, I mean, so we're just going to go...
We're going 2011. Yeah, no, I meant the 2011 when I said it. Though I did watch the original, and there's always one thing I did like more about it, but I already forgot it now. It's been so long. But I meant 2011. I forgot who said it. I forgot if it was Giguk or Mother's Basement. I was thinking about it outside. But one of them was going over, like, what makes a good fight versus a bad fight. And there's something they said about this I'll never forget. It's how expressive they are in every frame. Like, you can see what Gon is thinking as the hits are being laid without any dialogue saying how he's feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime he's surprised, you see it on his face. It's just such an expressive fight. I thought of just being really good choreography-wise, too.
Yeah.
I'm always a sucker for just, like, really well laid out hands.
And just strategic fighting on Gon's side, too. I mean, Hisoka's just playing this whole time. But, like, Gon's really trying. Like, when he lands that fight hit, too, later on, like right here, wrapping himself around his leg, trying to go for the knee, the elbow to the knee.
There's just so much going into the fight. Gon having everything to prove, having to be the one to strategize versus Hisoka standing in literally the same position for the first half of the fight. Killua even laying it out to the crowd, like to the audience directly, being like, the only upside Gon has is that he's being underestimated.
Yeah.
Just a great fight. The only bad part of the fight is that it has to end on that technicality of Hisoka hitting him with the rock and getting the points because they're in a pointed tournament.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
saves Gon's life.
Saves, yeah. I don't think, honestly, I don't think that Hisoka would have killed him because Hisoka's, like, got a hard on for what Gon could be.
But he ended the match for a reason. He was done playing. Like...
Yeah. I love this. Flipping the
Me
tile,
too.
kicking it.
Hiding behind one of the rocks. Like, that's such a multi-layered plan up for his side. And this is when the fight gets so vicious after, too. The way that Hisoka, like, stays on Gon's tail and that when he tries running away and they're, like, zigzagging.
Yeah, and then he gets the bungee gum on his cheek.
Oh, it beats his ass. There's such good physics in that fight, too. The way, again, that Gon's springy, and it comes in later with the bungee gum when he pulls him into that wicked Hulk.
Yeah.
Just so much physics to it. You can feel it.
It's good stuff.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely my favorite fight. Because it's also before, like, Nen gets really crazy, so there's still all of that hand throwing.
No, I go with the standard bullshit. Actually, I don't know. See, for me, it would either, from Hunter x Hunter, it would either be Meruem versus Netero, or the fake fight of the Zoldyck father and grandfather versus Koro.
I think that was, like, back in the day, my favorite, because I'm such a fan.
Original Hunter x Hunter, before 2011 happened.
Oh, that before that, too, it absolutely was my favorite, because I still remember the old-style grainy version of it.
It's so good. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing!
I think it's... The Genthru versus Gon is actually really underrated. The Greed Island fight.
Oh yeah, the bomb dude.
Where Gon's like, fuck the guaranteed win plan. I actually want to try and fight this guy, and like sacrifices his arms just to test if it would hurt him.
Yeah.
But it's only because they had the bullshit card system that they could do a fight like that.
Yeah, to save his fucking hands after the fact with healing cards or whatever.
But that was a good fight.
Who is it that's behind making the cards again? Like, whose Nen ability is it that made the Greed Island?
I think it must be one of the system people. Like the girl that's in the
so she's, like, retarded powerful then. If she's just...
Maybe some sort of, like, enchanting Nen ability. Like, you're imbuing effects into things.
Yeah. Now imagine, like, because those cards can be used outside Greed Island. Because they use it to
the warp card.
Yeah. So it's like, some of those cards, man.
Aww.
Imagine just rolling up to it with the... What's your weapon? Oh, I got this tarot card deck. Just a little different than tarot cards, but yeah.
Actually, I got this one. So did Chojin that has that kind of power, but save that for another day. Nude, actually. The guy you got a notification about, and you're like... There's a character in Chojin X called Nude.
That's funny.
Number 6.
My number 6. Once again, going old school. As in older stuff.
Yeah. 2011's old now. Sadly.
Mitsuyomi versus Sheen.
I'm so happy I didn't have to put it in my list. I'm so glad, because that would have been my Tenjo Tenge pick too. It was in my honorable mentions. I was like, I don't even think I need to say it for my honorable mentions. He's gonna say it.
I am. Because I watched this fight the other day. I was like, does this hold up?
Speaking about the story behind a fight, once again, being like what makes it so good.
Yes.
Because Sheen had Mitsuomi's ass every other moment in the show.
Yes, but Sheen had this beatdown coming to his ass so long.
It was cathartic.
And
they paint it as horrifying, but for most of the audience, well, for us, because we don't know anyone else that watched Tenjo Tenge.
I still don't know anyone else that's watched Tenjo Tenge.
Yeah, so for us, it was cathartic.
Oh my god, it's just, he dismantles him. Everything he throws at him. The only thing that works is at the end when he does the bullshit, his own family's secret technique, the Tachinko, through a girl and hits Mitsuyomi with it.
The elbow to the teeth. There's the wicked kick to the face. The gripping the floorboards with his toes, which is such a Baki move.
Oh my god, that's just Mitsuyomi doing. It's just Mitsuyomi doing Mitsuyomi things.
It's so good though. Because again, there's a lot of story build up to this moment too that made it so good.
Yes, this is the first non-shonen manga that I read. Well, I should say it's the third manga I ever read, because the only other two that are potentially before this would be Naruto and Bleach.
I think the first manga I read would actually technically be seinen. Would you call Dead Man Wonderland shonen? It's a really hard toss-up.
Is it on the app?
Well, it's not Shonen Jump. I don't know if it's shonen demographic or not, though.
Yeah, see, right here, he thinks it's, well, I'll take you out nonetheless. Nah, motherfucker.
Nope, there it is.
My toe
gripping
grips.
The floorboards.
This shot
It's so funny, too, because everyone's like, you're going to kill him doing that pussy move. And he's like, nah, fuck your pussy move.
This scene right here, so it looks good in the anime. Like, the pose that Mitsuyomi does after he throws him, that pose right there. Oh, it's just so good in the manga.
So cold.
It's so good in the manga. It is great in both, but the manga, it hits different on the manga. You're just losing everything, huh? What else did you...
My number 2's gone. My number 2 is now replaced.
When you get there, you'll have to mention what it was.
I will.
But
it's gone, though. Disappeared.
Hasta la babas.
I don't know what about this. I know what about this. I'll get to that too, though. Remind me how I got reminded.
I will. But see, it's like, because this fight is like corrupts Mitsuyomi too, because this is part of his like
that taste for power.
Taste the top power, which is honestly like probably really the themes of Tenjo Tenge is like power corrupts. Everyone that's strong.
Because Mitsuyomi was the good guy. He was the Nagi in like the
whole flashback arc. Yeah.
Sheen was the bad guy, and he literally usurped him and became the bad guy.
Pretty brutally too. Oh my god.
And let's mention now too, this is some stacked competition for this anime.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Every fight in Tenjo Tenge could make a top 10. One of my favorite fights is the class president girl with the daggers fight in I don't remember her name, but the main girl with like the silvery hair.
I think her name's Saya's her sister.
Maya then?
Yeah, yes. I think it is Maya.
Yes, they're fighting in the bathroom. Yeah. That shit is stacked with great decisions again.
So good.
Smashing the doors, using the doors to block the daggers, ricocheting the daggers off a mirror on the ceiling.
Oh. Anything Bob does.
Anything Bob does. Bob does not get enough love.
Bob does definitely not, man. He's just...
He might have 2 scenes with violence in them.
He's great, though. I fucking love Bob.
He might have 1 scene with violence in it.
Yeah, early on, when him and Nagi first come to the school. But Mitsuyomi, fucking the pinnacle, the true best fight in Tenjo Tenge. Bunshinchi versus the Ka.
Oh, God. I love Bunshinchi versus Sheen. when Sheen's just stabbing him in the legs like 12 times and Bunchichi still punches himself off of a car.
I think they actually say in the anime how many times it's like something like 70 something.
It's a lot.
And then as soon as Sheen's, because Sheen's a bitch, he can't fucking do anything with that bullshit sword. Oh yes, you beat somebody with a sword.
With a 12-foot sword. The thing's
big
huge.
deal.
It's
right,
like Sephiroth's Masamune long.
Yeah.
But yeah, he punches himself off the car the moment Sheen lets his guard down and socks him in the jaw.
Well, as soon as
and
Sheen passes the sword
on those legs too. Yeah, it's when he let go of the sword. He handed it off to someone.
And as soon as that punch off the car, mollywops him, stands up, beats the fuck
legs
out of him.
Legs bleeding out, gushing.
Yep. Slams him against a car again, and then he goes to grab the sword and he rips a mirror off a car and throws it at his fucking head.
And then the only Tenjo Tenge fight anybody knows, Masataka versus Nagi. Which is what sold the show for sure. It's what sold it to me when I watched it on fucking Spike TV.
In the lunchroom. When he fucking...
blocks the punch with the fucking chopsticks. Oh.
Yeah, well, because Nagi gets in that bullshit cheat move, puts the food in his face and socks him. It's the only hit he lands on him. Then he just goes eyes red and just... and just fucks him up.
And I always remember that frame where he punches him in the stomach and he like throws up blood and then vomit. Like there's a clear change in what he's vomiting.
Yeah.
And then it's like spit after. He's like... You just see his eyes like dead inside, and you see the reflection.
The reflection of
Masataka's final attack, and then he wakes up.
Yeah, he's black and blue, bloody. He's crying. He's just fucked.
And then later they explain to him like what happened, and you see the crater Masataka left next to his face. Like,
yeah, would have killed you if you
blasted him.
So good. I fucking love Tenjo Tenge, man.
Man caught his punch and did a spinning kick off of it, like
to the face.
Tenjo Tenge was that anime where I was like, shit, they can have choreography. This is amazing.
So good. Nagi sucks dick, though.
Nagi does suck dick. Oh, my favorite Tenjo Tenge fights are the ones where he's losing. The bowling alley fight with Mitsuomi.
Yeah. Or any...
That's probably my favorite. Him versus Mitsuomi is still the bowling alley where he gets his ass handed to him.
That's when you meet Mitsuomi for the first time, too. Yeah.
The fucking juggernaut, bitch.
Just coming in there with his
skin tight
onesie. Show how ripped he is with this fabulous hair.
You're from Inuyasha. I'm from JoJo's and Fist of the North Star.
What's up, bitch? I'm what Toguro wishes he was.
Exactly. But number 5.
Top 5!
This is my cheat, because I haven't actually watched this fight. It was adapted so long ago that I still put it on here. It hits the Black Bulls versus Vedo in Black Clover.
You've read the manga.
I've read the manga, but I haven't watched the anime. But I still had to put the fight on here. Because it is just a really good fight. Vedo. Yeah, baby. Because it literally is all the Black Bulls, but it's sadly the trickle-in respawns. Like, it starts out, I believe, with Noel and a character that's specific to the arc fighting. Mm-hmm. Vedo beats Noel's ass, tears out the other girl's, like, throat.
Is this when fucking, I forget his name.
Yami?
Yami does that, like, dimension slash.
It sure is. Because for more context, they're, like, being tested on something by the tribe to, like, get the information they have. It's kind of bullshit how the arc starts. They come down here and they're like, hey, we want something from you. They're like, cool, but let's have a fighting arc for you to earn that. And they're like, okay. So there's a barrier up outside of the testing grounds that they couldn't take down, and Vedo was already inside.
So he's just some dude that happened to be walking by and got trapped in the barrier?
I think he was kind of planning it. Like, he's like, I know they're going to come here,
so
I'm going to be there.
I'm going to conveniently be there.
So yeah, it's like singing girl Noelle at first and this dancing dude, and Vedo just like tears them apart. It looks so much better in the manga. Oh my god. But they go down, and I believe it's Asta, Actually, other people might go down before Asta even gets there, but it ends up being the best part of the fight. Asta, Vanessa, and Finral. Against this...
Is Yami just sitting on a bench somewhere watching
literally
this go down?
outside the barrier. And the thing is, too, he didn't know that dimension cut before, but just like he always tells everyone else to go beyond his limits, he was so pissed off that he evolved his magic to do the thing he needed to do in that moment. Which was cut the person that put the barrier up to begin with through space and through the barrier.
Did Veto put up the barrier or someone else?
I think someone else did.
So he uses the Dimension Slash on someone else.
Yes, and then shows up here to finish off Veto. He's like, good job, everybody. You surpassed your limits just like I asked. I got it from here. And uses that same attack against him to finish him off. But this, my favorite part, is Asta, Finral, and Vanessa. Because the whole time, Vanessa and Finral were kind of hiding, being like, ah, shit, we suck.
I like Vanessa.
I like Vanessa a lot. They're like, we suck. We're his senior, but we suck. We've always sucked. We've never met anyone's expectations. We can't save the day. And Asta's still there like, I'm going to fucking do this. We're like the last people here that can do anything. And they're like, shit, we can't let this fucking kid die while us just hide in the background. So they pull together all of their meager powers to keep Asta alive and fighting. Vanessa's pulling his body along with the strings to make him faster and would, as his bones start breaking, to keep him moving at all. While Finral's using the portals to move the attacks and move them.
Cool.
It's like the best team fight I've ever seen in manga. Because it literally took all of the Black Bulls to take Veto down. Because, as we mentioned already, they don't even succeed in taking him down.
The captain needs to come in and do it.
Yep. After being so frustrated watching them all go down one by one, too. I think by the end of it, literally every Black Bull has shown up to the Veto fight in some way.
So, Veto just ran the gauntlet. That's what he did.
Literally. Veto's like a fucking monster.
I mean, Asta gave it his best. I mean,
yeah, he does give it that
that's a nice fucking scene right there. So they think he won, but what is he going to do? Stand up? Is that the dude that put the barrier up?
I really don't even remember who put the barrier up.
I assume he just stood up now because it's all glowing red.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, we're going to have to do this again. Wonder if it's gonna flash to the room he was in. Because again, man was literally so frustrated that he had to be sidelined that he fucking evolved his magic like he tells everyone else to do.
Yeah,
surpassed his limits.
I do like that shot too that I just saw. Can I get it back? Right. I don't think I went back. Yeah, right there. He's only showed it for a split second. I couldn't pause it fast enough.
Yami's the best character in Black Clover, like hands down, bar none. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks. It's always Yami.
He just rolls up in here and one-shots the dude that just took out his whole fucking guild.
I remember what he's going to do. He's going to self-destruct. He's just going to blow the fuck up.
Yeah.
I was like, why is there an orb around him? Oh, yeah! It's just been so long. But that's my number 5. My favorite team fight.
Nice.
Actually, there's another team fight coming up. But Que Sera Sera.
I also have another team fight. But my number 5 is not a team fight. Probably the single greatest piece of hand-drawn animation I've ever seen. Levi versus the Beast Titan.
Hey.
Took this dude 6 months to make a 1 minute and 12 second scene.
One of my regrets that I choked up on earlier was Levi versus Kenny Squad.
Yes.
That's my favorite Attack on Titan fight.
It was
Considered an honorable mention, audience, because I do love that fight. It would have made this list for sure and knocked Sora down.
so. It was a toss-up for me between these two fights. Those two,
Because they're both the best fights in Attack on Titan.
But this fight is tied in with Irvin's last charge, and that is just it's just the whole.
I'm not sure if we call. Yeah. You meant tie it in, like put it all together.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's Levi's.
We'll call it the Scout Regiment versus the Beast Titan.
Yeah. Well, even just what this fight means compared to what the fight. Levi's just fighting some random Kenny's random.
His fight
dudes.
is like
but
adoptive father.
Well,
in a way, because he did fight Kenny's son there too.
All the other random dudes that are around with action, really like the hyper fast.
The people that were dying.
Yeah, the people that were dying. We didn't give a fuck about.
Well, I didn't give a fuck about most of the people that got killed by the Beast.
I don't care. But
in fact, the one that survives, I hate immensely.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yes.
But what this does for Levi and how it ties in with Irvin's death and what it means to Levi to then come back, because they fight twice more in the series, but neither one of the fights come even
Honestly, dude, the memes have brought this up to S tier to me too. That fucking skit was just so goddamn funny to me.
It's just so good. It's just like I don't even know how it just.
I'm absolutely watching that meme skit again tonight.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, because this part reminded you did at the talking.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Levi? You think someone's gonna beat my master? You think one guy's gonna beat my master plan? Levi is kind of that guy. No, listen up. He's not joking around though. Like Levi's that man.
And Levi was that dude. He just.
Oh shit! You must be Levi.
Hardening doesn't last. Isn't fast enough.
Levi's just a monster.
He is.
Anytime he corkscrews around something, I'm there.
Levi
the way
versus
he dismantles him.
It dismantles everything. When his rage moment in that OVA when he's against that variant. I haven't even watched the OVA, but I've seen the fight a million times. And him versus the female Titan.
Yeah. The Lady Titan. Again, my choice would still be Kenny Squad, though. I just love that fight so much.
It's so good. Him going through the city, and then that piece, the piece of rubble that kicks up and hits him in the forehead, and like, it's not even them that wound him. It's just him going through the alleyways, and a piece of debris hits him in the face
so desperately.
It's just
And it's cold on both sides too, because those people were again gunning for their lives right there. They're just there to murk them.
Witch Studios at its fucking finest.
Yeah.
Did I remind you of yet another thing to add to your list?
Fucking A, Wit Studio is at its finest. Shit. See, the last ranking of King's Fight now. Damn it. Mm-hmm. It's okay, though. It's okay. I didn't rewatch it. I don't know where it would line up. My next team fight is my next fight.
Oh, yeah. So, number 4.
Todo and Yuji versus Mahito, baby.
There you go.
It was fucking lit. It was lit in the manga, and they really did just add so much more content to it. The fucking monster train shit never happened. The walls sliding in with Mahito and Yuji scurrying along it. He starts getting that upper hand, throwing the hands on him.
Bleach references throughout that fight.
And both of the big Todo line drops I could have cried to, honestly. Both when he first comes in, he's like, the impertinence of the cherry blossoms, we are the exception.
Yes.
It's so huge. And then later, clapping is the amalgamation of the soul. They nailed that fucking fight, man. The way Mahito fucking swings around and slashes the shit behind him after that bluff.
It's just a Todo being doing Todo things, man.
Because you know what? If that wasn't animated by now, that exact spot would be Todo and Yuji versus Hanami.
Another great fight. Yeah.
Another great fight, but this one's just even better because it has all of that emotional weight packed in, and again, all that content they added. They nailed that fucking fight, man.
I fucking love when he's riding on the rock before he does
yes,
his Black
when he's
Flash.
throwing it, he's
And the fucking All Might scene, the fucking one for all for one reference in there, and then Yuji in the constellation, and then the idol, and
I just love how in sync they always are too. They vibe with each other. They know what's going down
so well. Yeah,
so good.
it's just animation wise too, just such a
And leading that whole fight too, because I mean I could throw in the Kujisaki parts in there too, because it's the whole Yuji versus Mahito leading up to it too. And the sick combo he lays on Mahito when Nobara does come through with that resonance hit.
Yeah.
He's off guard for a moment and he just fucking beats his ass.
right into the wall too, and you just throw in fucking haymakers at
The Jujutsu jumps are magic.
just like Nanami and Yuji versus Mahito.
That jumping is literally legendary.
Fight back! Fight
Wombo
back!
combo. But yeah, not much else to be said. It was so recent.
It was. It's still very fresh on everyone's mind. It's
But I
just-
do it. I just do it. The way those Toto lines hit me, I'm like, this is an all timer.
It's great.
It was an all timer in the manga when he dropped those lines, and they just.
No, it's funny though. So if it was season 1, it would have been versus Nanami, and it got bumped down for season 2 versus Mahito, and then it's gonna get bumped off for season 3 with Sendai Colony.
Sendai Colony, yeah. Mappa, don't fucking do me wrong, man.
I'm sure they won't.
Put your whole fucking budget behind that shit.
Yeah. So my number 4, classic, Kurosaki Ichigo versus Kutsuki Byakuya.
Nice. I respect your choice. I like that one more than the Ulquiorra fight, too.
Yeah, I mean, the Ulquiorra fight is definitely the edgelord choice.
Yeah.
It's that whole fight is just edge.
But the classy
But it's-
man's choice.
It's just it's the best fight in the best arc of Bleach.
Yeah.
People like to clown on Bleach until they go back and rewatch Soul Society and realize that it's one of the best arcs in Shonen.
Yes. And the fucking Byakuya's drops are so great.
Yeah. And it's just like the whole lead up to that too, because the whole arc is literally putting him as like
It was literally set up
End
the
all, be
moment
all.
Katakura Town ended.
yeah. He comes in and he's the one that
He's the
defeats-
big dick that makes Renji look like a bitch, and Renji just beat your ass.
Yeah. Because Ichigo beats Renji pretty early on into Soul Society arc
Yeah.
anyway. I think it's Ichigo's second fight in the arc.
It's like, hey, I wasn't that far from you last time anyway, so you're fucked this time.
Yeah, I got my Shikai, so let's go. But those are great. I mean,
No, it is a fantastic fight. Though when Ichigo first drops how much stronger he's gotten, and actually like shows off that speed.
it's just
When the sword arena starts coming up, because that's what I mean with the Byakuya drops. Every time Byakuya did something, it was just so great.
yeah, dude's like a master of like everything.
Kido,
Flash Staff, his Bankai,
multi-attack Bankai is here.
multi-form Bankai.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, it's so good.
Spectacular.
And then the Hollow Ichigo comes in there, does some stuff, and then that beautiful ending fight or like the ending attack that Byakuya does with the white wings and the
So
halo
good.
thing. Oh, just the whole. And he used it's the first Ichigo's first Bankai. It's like that first Bankai is just chills. That pose, Tensa Zangetsu.
I'm so always struck
Instant
in by
class.
Byakuya's Bankai because he drops it, fades into the ground, the swords come up, break into petals. It's so good. So extravagant.
Yeah.
Just for the stunning ability of having way more of the thing I had before.
Yes. And
That's
it's-
what a Bankai should be. Because it means full release.
Yeah.
It should just be more of the thing you already had.
Well, there are a few.
I'm looking at Soifon.
Yeah. Because there's a few that I like that. So, like, Hitsugaya is
Komamura.
just more ice. Komamura, just
More dude.
more dude.
Hitsugai. Yeah,
Hitsugaya is more ice. Yamamoto's more fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so you know what? A lot of them
Shinji,
do.
just more hypnosis.
Yeah, by the way, when you... It hit me like, I want to say like months later. I want to say it was only like a month ago. I'm sitting there at work. I'm like, wait, that's what Shinji's Bankai does? Man, that really is just worse Aizen Shikai. There's nothing Shinji could do with his Bankai that Aizen wasn't already just effortlessly doing with his Shikai.
He just makes people think that their allies are their enemies. That's it.
It's like...
And his Shikai is arguably better
Than Aizen's?
than his own Bankai.
Oh, yeah.
Because it inverts everything. So your senses...
It'd be harder to figure that one out than
like,
his Bankai.
It's like inverse an X and Y axis on your controller.
Yeah, that would fuck me up.
Yeah. So up is down, and down is up, and left is right, and right is... And forward
He's
is
just
backward.
worse Aizen.
Yeah.
In every way.
Yes. And Aizen says that to his face. Quite literally. But just...
But yeah, Byakuya versus Ichigo.
Bleach has so many great fights. Even just in Soul Society itself, of Ichigo's fights. His first fight, Ikaku versus Ikaku.
Ishida versus Scientist Dude.
Yes.
That's a good ass fight.
Naomi.
Yes.
Ichigo... I know you don't like
Kenpachi.
Renji, but Ichigo versus Renji.
I don't like
Soul
Renji.
Society
Renji
is
getting
a good
no
fight.
diffed by Byakuya. Great fight. That was the tallest Renji's blood has ever gotten. That shit went up like 3 or 4 flights.
Yeah. Massive.
He had some high blood pressure that day.
I know you like it, the small clash between Hitsugaya and Gin.
Mm-hmm. I also like when they first get to the gate and Gin just says, fuck you.
Bye. Yep.
Peace. Good job making it this far.
Ichigo versus Kenpachi. Fucking Hitsugaya versus Aizen.
So good.
So many good fights. Tosin and Komamura versus Kenpachi.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The true travesty that it was off screen. Fucking Shinsui and Ukitake versus Yamamoto.
Yes.
It was like so sad that was off screen, but it's just Soul Society is just so good of an arc.
Not Chad.
Poor Chad. He got done dirty.
Chad's nothing.
Yeah, he got done super dirty in Soul Society. But Ichigo versus Byakuya.
Nice.
The
Excellent choice, sir.
top of the top.
I think that's a very classy choice.
Because I was like...
Ichiro versus Grimmjow, also a good choice, though.
That was their final fight. Because I love the first fight. It's just like so crisp.
It's so good.
Animation-wise, but it's
Whoever they put on
just...
staff that day,
Yeah.
I hope they have a bright career.
Yeah, because it's a beatdown. Literally, Ichigo does...
It's a good fucking beatdown. Oh.
Ichigo does one attack that connects with the Grimmjow at the very end of the fight. The rest of it is just straight 5 minutes of Ichigo getting his ass absolutely destroyed by Grimmjow. And then the complete inverse in their second fight, because then Grimmjow comes in without an arm, and he's damaged. He's way weaker, and now Ichigo just got a massive power bump with his mask.
And then he even goes like full release though, and it's not enough to like catch up to where Ichigo's gotten. Because he
tries
Panther mode.
He was about to, which he would have absolutely destroyed Ichigo at that point. Nice. But Urukiola comes in and stops.
Oh, do they have a third round where he uses the release?
It's the third fight while they're in Hueco Mundo, yeah. Because the whole point of the second round was to distract everyone for Urukiola to come and kidnap or tell Orihime
to come with him.
Yeah, because he corners her in the Saikamo.
And he's like, feel my husbando vibes.
Yeah.
Let us be off. You have been sufficiently rizzed.
He murders all the guards she's with, and he's like, if you don't come with me by sundown,
I'm going to kill the people you love.
Everybody you love. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. And she's right, because they all live in the human worlds. he would just open a gate right next to him, walk through, stab him,
And he's
walk
right,
out.
because he's like, if I gotta take you, that means I'm gonna have to do whatever it takes for you to come. So how about we skip the violent part and just have you come?
And at that point, there was nobody.
If anything, that was a mercy on his part to give her an option.
Yeah, and there was no one in the human world at that point that stood a chance against Haruki.
No.
No way. I don't think all of them together could take his second release at that point in the story. There's just no way. But that's my number 4.
Number 3.
Number 3! Top 3!
Top 3.
Well, but I forgot to mention, by the way, the top 4, which is so hard for me to fucking categorize them, which...
I've had to go back and edit, so...
So, like, they're so close that they might as well be interchangeable almost. So, just keep that in mind.
I also feel the same.
But...
My number 3 is, you know it, I know it, everybody knows it. Edward versus Greed.
Of the first one.
Of the first one, but both are good. But I do think...
Original Full Metal.
There's another one of those moments, like, whoever you brought on to direct and animate that day, I hope they had a stunning career after. Because it might be the shonen beat-up fight that got me into shonen punch-em-ups to begin with. It's just that fucking good. That spin kick in the thumbnail I think of every time I think of this fight. Because it's just such a fantastic... It's 35 seconds. It was some of the best fights I'd ever seen up until that point.
I forgot how short it is, too. Yeah, it's just like, let's do this. It just balls through the wall. Let's go. Fast pace.
And again, it's something fantastic just about alchemy in general. How understated it can be. Like, he doesn't have to talk about... for 20 minutes.
Kick.
Yeah, there it is. But
Alchemy right on the stomach.
he doesn't have to talk for 20 minutes about, like, his counter. You know what I mean? It's just like,
that 30 seconds is great, but Greed is so much.
It's also
better
good in
character
Brotherhood.
In Brotherhood,
yes. It's also a good fight in Brotherhood, to be fair, though.
Greed has some great fights in Brotherhood too.
I'm also wondering if they... I know there's another part. I don't know if there's an earlier fight between them in the original adaptation, because I know there's a shot, it could just be a Brotherhood shot, where he weakens Greed's hand and punches it, and it strips the flesh off of Greed's arm.
Right there.
Hey, yeah, right there. Literally. So yeah, there's an 8-minute version. Because I knew that's not where he figured out the counter to Greed, being to change, like, the type of carbon he's reinforcing his skin with.
Right. Yeah, because there's 2 Greeds in... There's, like, the
Greed and then Greeling.
Greeling. Greeling is better. I should specify. I'm not talking about regular Greed, like this guy, but Greed.
I just think it's such, like, a great amalgamation of Full Metal Alchemist. The way Edward figures out how to beat him.
See, it's funny too, is because...
Oh,
yeah,
that's such a good shot.
Yeah, it's wrap his legs around. It's a Black Widow attack.
Literally. A Hurricane Rana.
It's funny because I don't think you
There's
could call
so
my favorite
fights.
fight in... Oh, no, I said Alphonse versus Kimberly.
Yes, you did. Ha ha ha. But just still, let's keep
my-
talking about Full Metal fights. They're all great.
My second favorite might not be considered a fight. The absolute hunt.
Oh, the execution.
The execution that Roy Mustang went on.
And I watched that
for
again
fucking
recently, too.
Envy. So did I. I think I shared it.
Yes.
I think I shared it to you.
One of my favorite moments is actually Hawkeye realizing, like, Hawkeye bluffing to call out Envy when she was pretending to be Mustang, and then her laying down the fucking firepower on Envy there.
Because it tricks you,
Empties
the
both
audience.
her pistols, I think pulls out another set, pulls out a rifle, and I think grenades her?
Yeah, and then pulls out her pistol again, or shotgun or something.
Yeah.
She just throws everything at her. Because it tricks you as the audience, too, to make you think that
She's the imposter.
she might be the imposter.
It's genius. It's mwah. Mwah. Another great fight from the original, and I just noticed it up here. I don't know if it's the original version of Brotherhood, but it's one where I like the original adaptation more, is the first time Edward fights Scar.
You know, it's a great fight too. That I rewatched recently.
Scar versus Bradley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that goes hard.
It goes really hard. But I love the first time Edward fights Scar in the original adaptation because there's just something about both the way Armstrong and Mustaine come in and the way they animated Ed's arm breaking apart when Scar busts his arm. You see all like the bolts and shit coming off of it. It just looks so goddamn good. Every Full Metal Alchemist fight could have made my list, to be honest. That spot might as well be a placeholder for Full Metal Alchemist in general.
Fucking Bradley running the gauntlet of the troops when he fights the tanks and everything.
That was in my honorable mentions for ages.
When he cut the fucking tank shell in half.
When the old dude pulls open his shirt and there's dynamite coming down and he accurately cuts the tips of the dynamite off and blows the motherfucker up. It is nutty.
Another.
Him versus Bradley and Greeling.
I was just gonna say Greeling and what's the girl's name? She was there, right?
What, the Dagger Girl?
The one that's yes.
Does remote alchemy?
The child, yes.
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but yeah, that girl.
She was in that fight, right? Well, because it's actually isn't it? It's not Greeling yet.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Greeling in that. Oh, no, it might not be because he did want to kill Greed.
Yeah, I think it's
Ling versus.
I think it is just Ling versus Bradley.
No, because that one's earlier on, I think. Because I think that's when they were trying to capture Gluttony.
Yeah.
He does fight them there, though, and they're fucking terrified. That girl ends up sacrificing her arm and tying it to a dog to lead him away. That's how terrified they are.
Oh, of
Bradley.
Gluttony. Oh, yeah, right.
When Bradley comes into this fight, yeah.
He's trying to stay on his left side to his blind spot, and it's just not working.
It's a good plan, though, bro.
I will say, I'm glad that Gluttony is not a giant, grotesque monster in Brotherhood, because I didn't really like that in the original.
Yeah, but Envy gets to be the giant, grotesque monster.
True.
Right? Another good one, obviously. Fucking Mustang versus Lust, always a classic. I do love this shot of him wrapping up Gluttony. Mwah. There's so many great fucking moments.
So many.
Because there's also everything that led up to that. Because there's a whole operation with like Mustaine and Hawkeye there trying to like root them out.
Another great one's just for the memes when Armstrong and the other muscle guy versus Sloth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also great because I loved everything
dudes
with his sister. Because she's so cold and brutal.
Yeah, she is.
Did they like bury some of the MPs in like fucking cement?
Probably.
Yeah, I think I think one of the people in their deep state came to like inspect them. I think they ended up killing the guy and cementing him. Fucking awesome.
Jesus.
So yeah, Full Metal Alchemist.
Nah.
You're number 3, sir. We're running down on time.
My number 3, Naruto versus Sasuke.
Hey, that's the one I took off of my number 2.
The first one.
I would have said the second one, but I understand. I was prepared to say both of them. That's what I was prepared to say.
I like the last one in Shippuden.
I like the last one.
But it's way too... It's the whole problem with that fight is it just showcases the power creep in Naruto.
Me too. My favorite parts of the second one are the more understated parts. Him breaking the seal for Shadow Clones. The way it ends with their like bloodied arms holding hands.
Or just when they're exhausted and they're like...
being it.
Exhaust punching each other.
Yeah, my favorite parts of that fight are certainly not when he's a giant floating ghost samurai with meteors to use.
Yeah.
Versus a giant fox. That's when I'm like, ah yes, Taboo Tab2 ended kind of like this.
No. Fucking their first fight in the Valley of the End after banger after banger after banger.
Yeah, all of my favorite fights are like right before there too.
Yeah. Literally the Sasuke
Kimimaro running the gauntlet.
Yeah. It's just that whole fight, it just brings everything into the showcase of like, wow, Naruto really is just that guy. And Sasuke has to accept that at this point, and does at the end of it, and can't bring himself to actually kill Naruto. Just barely wins over Naruto anyway. But
he even feels bad about almost killing him the way he did with that pile driver. He did seem to feel bad about it a little bit after.
Yeah, but I mean, even in the original fight, there's some of those cool things that
Naruto's those little doing with character
moments. With the shadow clones and stuff.
And Sasuke completing hand seals in that fight for fireballs with Naruto's hands.
Does he do that in the original?
I think he does do that in the original. I think it's when the next Tomoe opens, he starts doing that. I know it's so hard to remember at this point. They blend in together.
But then I just love First Tail, when the First Tail came out versus the full release Curse.
Is that when he like screams away a fireball too? Like Sasuke's like laying in the water, he goes to do a fireball, and Naruto just.
That's not a full tail. It's just like he's.
Oh, just the cloak.
Yeah. But it's just that whole fight, man. It's just iconic. It's so great.
Good. I can hear the Linkin Park playing in my head.
Same.
I feel so young.
Or Animals, 3 Days Grace.
Animal I Become. Yeah, that was my number 2. Before I had a startling realization that I did put something in the list, and all of my atoms started unaligning.
There's not much more to say about. I mean, there's plenty.
It
of
is
good
literally
Naruto
though
fights.
the epitome. Like, I don't even finish watching Naruto, and that still made my number 2 on my list. It's like the epitome of everything I asked for from a fight. Great choreography that's grounded in the characters. A clear story to tell through fighting that does change as they fight.
Something.
Same thing with like Gon and Hisoka. You could tell where they are off of their expressions and shit.
And it's just back when Naruto was just amazing.
And it has like no flaws. Like that entire fight bangs. The first one, unlike the second one, the entire first time they fight bangs front to back.
Because I was thinking of stuff. I was like, Gaara versus Rock Lee and Shunya Zam's. That's
obviously,
a dope fight.
Yeah.
I mean, there's.
I'm also always partial to Kimimaro.
Anything Kimimaro did.
Sakura versus. Fuck his face.
Sai something.
Fuck, I liked him a lot too.
The puppet guy.
Sakura's one good fight, which was like granted like a top 3 fight.
Sasuke versus Itachi's great. Fucking Kakashi, Nobito, Pain versus
Sasuke,
Naruto.
Itachi, Killer Bee versus Taka Squad.
Oh my god, Killer Bee
so
just absolutely
good.
Stunting on all of them.
The way he just shoves all his swords into Sasuke in that moment, I can feel the impact of them hitting it. And
I was so happy.
Let's call it how it is. That is not one of the better animated Naruto fights for a lot of it.
No, but
But
it slaps.
what they did with their budget is incredible. Like the choreography versus animation quality. The choreography is like cranked. Those people were able to do a lot with like a small budget on that one.
2 more that is Orochimaru versus the 3rd Hokage. Fantastic.
Yes.
And
I can't let him wake up the 4th Hokage. Can't let him see how I made his grandson been living. How I made his son live, yeah.
And then, I just thought about it. Was it Jiraiya versus Pain?
Yes.
That fight's dope, too.
I also, even though it's part I haven't even watched, is I do like Sasuke coming in on the Hokage Summit. I do.
He does get his butt.
Him trying to run the gauntlet.
Yeah, he overstepped. He thought he was that guy.
He thought he could run it. He thought he was Bradley.
He does damage. I mean,
that's what I mean, too. It's a good
Raikage's
section.
arm because of Amaterasu, I think.
Yes.
Somehow he
But the Raikage kind of like chose to, too, which is like the stupidest thing.
Yeah. But the Mizukage was just like seconds away from melting the flesh off of Sasuke's bones.
Yeah.
She was about to like just murk his ass. And then Zetsu saved him. And they dipped. But yeah, so that's my number 3. Naruto versus Sasuke.
And I mean, I gotta call it out too, because it's been recommended every single fucking time you've opened a YouTube video, but fucking Madara fighting all of the nameless hordes.
Yeah. Versus that
Versus losers.
Yeah.
Losers, Gaara, and Tsuchikage.
Tamari and Naruto are also there.
They were there. I don't know if Tamari actually attributed anything. Actually, she did, didn't she? I remember that, actually. She's like the only person to not get her ass beat in the crowd.
Yeah. So, those 4 named characters, they
are the only ones, yeah.
Because Naruto...
And then losers.
Yeah, Naruto
and dead
throws
men.
a Rasen Shuriken at him.
Nice.
But he uses...
And everyone else died.
A lot of them died, and then he dropped 2 meteors on their faces.
And then more.
And then never did that again. I'm like, bro, you can drop
Just keep
meteors.
doing that. Just keep spamming that move, bro.
You literally say, right after you drop the meteors, that is the point of the Edo Tensei, is to use ninjutsu that would normally kill yourself in the after effects. Because then it doesn't kill you, and you can do it again and again. So why aren't you spamming that?
He just wanted to keep the
Kishimoto didn't want to.
He didn't want to destroy the face of the planet with giant meteors.
Why? You're about to put everyone in a fucking cocoon in a tree.
Well, he still has to look at everything.
Yeah, but was he... Well, because if you're going to put the whole world in an infinite
You'd think
cocoon,
you'd put yourself in
I
it,
was going
too.
to say, at that point, what are you going to do? Sit in front of the tree and watch body cocoons?
Feeling really proud of himself for like maybe a year.
Yeah, and
before he might see the horror and everything.
Then he plugs himself into the Matrix.
Yes. Number 2.
Number a dose.
So again, Naruto and Sasuke was here till like 5 entries ago. It was gonna be the second one. Just because I really do like how they tied it in at the end. Like I actually felt a little emotional with their bloodied arms holding each other and Sasuke finally being like, I've been such a fucking idiot. When it shows like the shot of like what could have been if Sasuke had stayed, like it like plants him in with all the people Naruto has been with him all the time, and he like starts crying. I'm not gonna lie, I start crying a little bit too. I'm like, shit.
They did that in the original fight too, with showing what could have been if they were friends as kids.
Yes.
But
this one is showing what could have been if he
kids
stayed like to the end and been that ride or die, and it kind of hits me too, like seeing it hit Sasuke. But I swapped it out because I didn't even watch it. That was the one that I've been saying this whole time too, that I kind of feel obligated to put there because it just hits everything so well. Mm-hmm. But instead, shocking, somehow Tenjo Tenge erupted this from me. Somehow I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, I need to read the manga Tenjo Tenge. The manga. I need to read the mangoes for Tenjo Tenge. And then it just hit me. I'm like, what other manga do I have to read for something I love? Oh, Escriad. That exists.
Oh,
I didn't consider it this entire time.
Oh, shit.
So I put Ryo versus Kazuma.
The last fight,
but literally any of the times.
Kazuma!
Because I do love the first time Ryo comes in and makes Kazuma eat his own ass.
It's quite the beatdown.
Yeah, all of the times they fight. I just want to also mention when Straight Cougar dies, because that fight was really good. Well, dies because he does also show back up at the end, not dead.
Plus, you love when that happens.
I do love when that happens. But it's just a really good fight. The literal entire series exists to make that fight happen.
Yeah, it's these two.
It is the entire story.
It's the fucking the reserved, obedient, quiet guy versus the loud, obnoxious, rebellious dude.
It's also the poor versus like the state in a way. It's like literally every kind of tropey struggle combined into like a nice shonen fight.
Which then also just goes hard with their full suit.
I do love the powers in Escry, like dematerializing matter to form your superpowers.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I do love just out of nowhere the fucking the deep.
Yes,
The deep lore.
It's like I'm just literally sitting here, just something about it. Something about the color scheme of Tenjo Tenge reminded me of the manga volume cover for Escryed because it had like browns on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I looked at it on Amazon a long time ago, so it really hit something
watch the manga
deep.
be like way different than the anime.
It's only like 6 volumes, so I do plan on getting it sometime.
That's cool.
Watch Escryed. It doesn't hold up, but watch it anyways.
It's like trying to tell people to watch Gundam Wing.
Yeah.
The story holds up, but you're better off probably putting a blindfold on than
Let me
watch
take you down a road of my Adult Swim. We'll watch Paranoia Agent, Escryed, Gundam Wing,
and Fuliculi.
Fuliculi.
Fuliculi will be the most pleasing to the eyes.
There's also one I could have put on here. Let's put this as an extra honorable mention. The last fight in Fuliculi. I have to throw it on there as an honorable. When he gets the powers of Adamus, the thing she's been after the entire time, and you can see that jealousy on her face, being like, "That was mine."
And then she just leaves him, and he's not in season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8.
Those seasons don't exist.
No, they don't.
It has nothing to do with the original creation of Fuliculi, and I don't accept them.
Neither do I. I haven't even
I knew,
seen them.
and I knew it the moment Adult Swim bought the property.
Yeah.
Like, I was happy at first. I did have that knee jerk, yes, more Fuliculi content, and I'm like, wait a minute, does Adult Swim really have any place making more Fuliculi? And
Do they have
big
the
future
ability
brain?
to?
Nope, on either of those fronts.
Yep.
That's my number 2.
Glorious. My number 2 is from... Actually, I don't have the list here anymore. But I think it is actually from my number 2 favorite anime as well. Simone versus the Anti-Spiral.
Nice.
Specifically from the movie Sky something. It's like a alternate. I think it's this. It's such a short fight too, but so I think this is it. Because yeah, he jumps out. He fucking
Yeah.
comes at him. Yeah, right here, right here. Like, look at this. They just. I love the coloration. It's just they're both. All of their mechs are gone, and they just throw in hands, and it's just they just going at it. And this part right here, he just grabs all of his tentacles, pulls them in, huge punch to the face, it's just
Great his teeth in that punch.
look at this. And every single attack is met with another one and another one. It just gets more brutal, and the blood mist that's going on right into my drill, and watch this. He's gonna form his drill with his own. That shot, man, is so good with the blood forming into the drill.
Yeah, it's lit.
It's just. I just love it. I love Gurren Lagann, and
The property's so good, it made their studio legendary for the rest of time.
Yeah. And this is just. It's the final fight of the series against the final bad guy, and he just punches a hole right through his fucking chest. A body-sized hole. If this white screen ever goes away. There it is.
I could go for a rewatch on Gurren Lagann.
Oh, it's so good.
It's been too long.
I own it on DVD, but it's funny because it's not the it's the one boring episode, and I love this final shot too. Look at that. It's just so good. Oh, it's the detail, the scruff, the shading. I'm just like, yes.
See, once again, was there again.
Yeah.
Madara versus... Oh, I almost said like a pleb pronunciation.
Madara.
Like Madeira.
No.
So bad. Madara.
One of my discs is scratched, so it skips on the first Rashio episode.
Oh.
When you meet Rashio.
Oof. What a horrible time loop.
So I'm like, cool, we'll just not watch that episode.
Heartbroken.
It's terrible. But it's just, Gurren Lagann.
Excelente.
Tengen Toppa. And that's like the very end of the fight. I mean, you could say that there's more of it because, I mean, that's the same fight that they're so large that they're using galaxies as frisbees to throw at each other. It's the same fight. It's just the tail end of that fight. But it's the tail end of it that makes that, that's what I really like. When it goes down each stage, each version of Gurren Lagann gets broken down all the way to the original, and then it's just the head.
It's literally like the opposite of the final Naruto and Sasuke fight, where it shows their kid forms lining up like with age to the current times.
Yes, and then pulls a fucking Jeremiah Gottwald and jumps out of his mech.
Remember the name!
Has his own mech throw him at the anti-spiral, and it's just like, we fight with these hands! It's just, so good.
So good.
So good. So good. But, alas, we have come to it.
Number one.
Number one.
It couldn't be any other answer.
Oh.
Is Jotaro versus Dio.
Yeah, yes.
I'd actually put it as the whole Dio's world, because I think it, from when Kakyoin fights Dio and dies, Joseph also, he didn't die, but we think he's dead in the moment, sort of thing. Kakyoin is dead. Into him fighting Jotaro. Because Kakyoin's the first one that figures out what Dio's power is, tries to pass that message on to Joseph, who also has to figure it out in the little time he has while Dio is chasing him down to pass her on to Jotaro. And then, from then on, Jotaro's fight with Dio, which just...
Roll the roller!
Peak strategy.
I've never actually watched it.
I wouldn't even look up clips because it's actually really fucking long. But
I've seen numerous clips of
I
it.
beseech you. You still have Netflix?
Yeah.
I think it's on Crunchyroll also. I don't know why I bring up Netflix. Just go to fucking Stardust Crusaders and watch the Dio's World episodes. It's Dio's World part 1, 2, and 3. It is literally from when Polnareff first sees Dio on the staircase onward. It's the last 3 episodes.
The memes of that is so funny because
it is perfect.
The Zaworld only stops time. So that means Dio walked down the stairs, moved Polnareff down the stairs, walked back up the stairs.
Just to be like, oh, you're such a pussy not approaching me. How dare you not approach me? What are you, a bitch? And Polnareff's like, I'm not a bitch. I'm coming. Oh.
The ultimate meme lord.
It's so good because he also pulls some sort of like troll on them when they get up to the top 2 to like open his coffin. They're like, well, he was here. Clearly there's a sign that he was here when we opened it, but he's not here. What happened?
So he stopped time,
opened it, closed. So literally watch Dio's World, those 3 episodes. Because that's all you need. It's when they finally make it to Dio. And it's just Dio like escaping from there, them chasing him down where he is. I think it's like the mayor's car. He literally like hops in the mayor's car and drives him insane just by like how intimidating he is. Be like, you better follow him. You don't, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And the guy's just like so tense and scared that he literally goes insane. Because there's one part too where they're in traffic and Dio's like, why aren't you going? And he's like, well, there's cars in front of us. He's like, not over there. There isn't. It points to the sidewalk full of people. He's like, not over there. You better get driving. The guy, that's why he just breaks the guy. He's like, yup, yes, master. And runs over the people.
Jesus.
It's so good. It's such a good fight. It needed 3 episodes to contain it all.
Well, I mean, after 100 episodes of like, we're coming
of
for
build
you,
up.
Dio.
Yeah. It lives up to all of it, though. I always quote this moment, but that moment where he thinks he finally has Jotaro, and Jotaro's fucking stopping his own heart with this stand, and Dio's just standing there while he's doing this, not knowing he's doing that, being like, I don't think you're really down. Let me listen to the ground. Let me throw something at you. Maybe I'll approach now just to get like one hit in on Dio. It's magnificent. Dio stopping time and throwing all the knives around Jotaro and then starting time back up. There's one moment where like he literally is like dying. He grabs onto the fucking bumper of a car and speeds off that way. And Jotaro catches up through the sewers and gets back at him. I think he throws a manhole cover at him.
That's hilarious.
It's just such a good fucking fight. And literally the entire season built up to it. Technically, 2 seasons back too. Built up to that moment happening. So, yeah.
It's Dio.
It's just so good. And it does still fit
You thought
the parameters.
it was the #1 top fight, but it was me! Dio!
It still fits the parameters because, like I suggested to you, I went out of my way just to watch the Dio's World episodes before I even started season 1 of JoJo's. I was like, this is the part that has Dio. I'm going to watch the part that has Dio.
I've seen most of part 1.
You have seen most of part 1, which is like 6 out of 8 episodes.
Every time you say that, I swear it's
It feels like fucking forever though, and it's so weird because season 1 on Netflix is both started as the Phantom Blood and part 2. I think I might have fucked up which one's which. I think Phantom Blood is part 2, but whatever. It's part 1 and part 2 as season 1 on Netflix. Part 1's 8 episodes that feel like 50. Part 2 is like 24 episodes that feel like 8. It goes by so fucking fast. It's still the best. If Jotaro and Dio wasn't so goddamn perfect, it would have been Joseph versus Cars. Because Joseph versus Cars is also an incredible fight. Where he literally wins through the sheer luck. Literally. And then every time something lucky happens to him too, he does his classic gaslighting the opponent, being like, I planned this the entire time. I planned us standing on top of this volcano as the cap of it erupts and shoots us into the atmosphere at like Mach velocity. I planned this.
Okay, Aizen.
It's so fucking good though.
Fucking JoJo's.
Fucking JoJo's. But every final fight in JoJo's is always amazing. But number 1.
Number 1 for me.
But it better not be this Madara shit. There's the pleb pronunciation. I did it.
Madara.
Madara shit. Madara.
Yes.
Madara. Uchiha.
Mine is a team versus a team. Fucking Roof Piece. Where's the panel? Give me the panel. Right fucking here. This panel starts Roof Piece. Please let me enlarge this.
It's like an 80-step process to enlarge it.
You got Trafalgar Law, Rono Zoro, Monkey D. Luffy, Killer, Eustace Captain Kidd versus Yonko Kaido and Yonko Big Mom.
Trafalgar D. Water Law, sir.
I'm surprised you even fucking know that. Because you haven't even...
I like Law enough to surpass the boundaries of having to meet him.
In any medium of One Piece you've consumed, Law is not in it.
No, I do think I saw Law. Wasn't he there when Luffy punches the...
Yeah.
Yes. See? That's all it takes. One taste of Law and I was hooked.
But this...
Sorry, Trafalgar D. Water Law.
Yes. Trafalgar D. Water Law. But it's just... This was... there was so much build-up to this. And I mean... They got, like... Killer and Zoro go on to fight other people, and then they split up. Luffy stays to fight Kaido, and Law and Kid fight Big Mom. But this is from chapter 1000. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 95% sure. But it's just so good too, because it's just like Kaido and Big Mom are like top 5 strongest characters in the verse, and it's just like they're like these oppressors that are take Kaido specifically.
Yes, put it into the terms I like.
Oppressors.
Yes.
Kaido is a tyrannical. He took over this country, and the Yonko saga started in Punk Hazard, which is the second arc of the post time skip, and that on Punk Hazard is where Luffy meets the 2 people that are from this country and makes his alliance with Law to take out Kaido. That's at like chapter 700 and something.
Yeah.
This is chapter 1000. This is when they finally all get here. There's so many dope ass fucking scenes from this. Everyone pops off. Everybody. And it's like even just like how Luffy starts it off too, and just like, oh my god, this is it's a long fight because it goes over a few episodes. It's like 7 people up there, and like
in the longest arc in One Piece, so it's a lot to like
even
pay off.
Even the payoff before, like all of these scenes you're seeing here are from different arcs leading up to Wano, and then everything you see while in Wano. All of the people that have died to get to this point. And it's just like, it's just so satisfying. I could have put the climax of Luffy versus Kaido, but it's just like Roof Piece was just so hype in the manga when everyone was like reading it. It's like, I don't know, man. It was a glorious time to be alive to watch
Peak Piece.
Peak Piece.
You'll never hear me say it again.
I almost put Rob Lucci versus Luffy on here. Or Luffy versus Rob Lucci. But then it dawned on me that Roof Piece. I was like, oh yeah, no, Roof Piece. It's just so good.
Excellent. Speaking of build-ups and payoffs, that's what it's all about.
Literally. Hundreds of chapters. Years of build-up.
So that was the other thing I didn't really mention with the Gon Hisoka. That was also such a good part of it, is the build-up from Gon's first time getting no dift to getting that punch and earning that token pass back.
Let me see, actually. When was...
Roof Piece?
No, that was like last year. Aaron being published.
Maybe there's one piece.
Right. When did Punk Hazard was in 2012, 2013.
So 10 years.
10 years of build-up. Because that's when we meet Momonosuke and Kiyomon, who are the son and vassal of Oden, who Kaido killed, to then take over Wano. And that's when we meet them in the manga.
Damn.
In 2012. And also when Kid comes up to us and is like, yo, I got a plan to take down an emperor. And Luffy's like, cool, man, which one? So, literally, you're just not getting bigger payoff in a fight. Or build up, I should say, more. Not really payoff. Wrong word.
I still got you, though.
But, so yeah. That's my top 10.
That's my top 10. That's our top 10s.
Saitama versus Boros. Everyone versus Tiamat and Fate Babylonia. Goku versus Majin and Vegeta. Tengen, Uzui, and really just everyone versus Upper Moon 6.
Yeah.
Mitsuyomi versus Sheen from Tenjo Tenge. Levi versus the Beast Titan, Attack on Titan. Ichigo versus Byakuya, Bleach. Naruto versus Sasuke. Simone versus the Anti-Spiral, Gurren Lagann. And Roof Piece from One Piece. And yes, that is what it is called in the fandom. Roof Piece.
And Sora and Jabril. Shimazaki versus all of the Espers. Stein versus Medusa. Shinra versus Sho. Gon versus Ahsoka, the Black Bulls versus Veto, Toto and Yuji versus Mahito, Mwah. Edward versus Greed, Ryoho versus Kazuma, and Jotaro versus Dio.
Fucking glorious.
Hell yeah.
Way harder to put together than the anime and manga list that we did. But I'm happy with my list.
Me too.
I'm sure I'll think of something tomorrow that should have been mentioned or put
Yeah, I
on
was
it.
thinking of stuff now that needed to be mentioned.
Yeah, Rizuho versus...
In the ghost of Levi versus Kenny squad, haunting all of my positions, being like, I deserve to be here.
Yes. But that's
The Dukes of Weebdom.
the Dukes of Weebdom! Episode 52 special of our top 10s.
We'll be back with manga next week. We meant to catch up on our Dawn to Dawn chapters, but we're glad we didn't because there wasn't time.
Yeah. Find us on Twitter at the Dukes of Weedom and let us know what your top 10 favorite anime fights are of all time.
Yes.
Let us know. Take care now.
Goodbye.